Morning. So I just want to take literally 5 minutes just to talk to you about my plans now for fresh. There's a lot of birds around this morning and planes, but the weather is absolutely gorgeous. So if you watch me on stream, you know obviously I've been preparing my character. Well, up until about a week ago, I was preparing my Druid, starting to pre-farm achievements and all sorts of things like that. My plans in terms of that haven't actually changed, I want to say at all, because I do still intend on being quite a completionist on my character during Wrath of the Lich King. It just means I'm going to start literally right from the beginning by going fresh. But why am I going fresh? Now, I've seen a couple of videos pop up recently, namely by my mate MMO Guide, who's done a fantastic sort of breakdown as to why he's going fresh. He goes into a deeper explanation of all the different gameplay aspects as to why, so I'd definitely check that out. Whereas mine, it's just more, I like fresh. It's not really even about the level playing field or anything like that. You know, I'm not that far behind. My Druid's got 4-piece tier 6. You know, I've got the badge staff. It's got decent trinkets. The rest of its armor's decent. I can do decent damage. You know, I'm not that far behind. My character could go into Sunwell now. I just can't be bothered. And the main reason for that is because I've just not enjoyed TBC that much. And it's not a good or a bad thing, you know. It is just what it is. I kept getting drawn back to going and playing in other places because the game, the expansion, TBC, just wasn't gripping me at all. And the same really happened in Vanilla as well. I took multiple breaks during Vanilla, mainly after Blackwing Lair and before Nax. But why is Wrath going to be different? Well, I think there's a lot of things there that I want to achieve. So let me just start with what I'm actually doing character-wise. So during the pre-patch, obviously, I'm hoping we get 4 weeks, but if we only get 2, I'm gonna have to go really, really hard for those 2 weeks. So for the first few months of Wrath, my main's going to be a Druid, and my ult is going to be either a Mage or a Paladin. I'm still undecided, and I think it's going to be literally the day of pre-patch where I decide which one I'm doing. But I'm sort of practicing routes and stuff like that on both. But first of all, when the pre-patch hits, I'm going to start a Mage or a Paladin on one account. I'm going to get that to 70 as quickly as physically possible, get it a few bits of gear, but nothing too serious, and then I'm going to use that to boost my main, which is going to be my Druid. Because leveling a Mage and a Paladin's fairly chill, don't get me wrong, so is a Druid. But still, I've leveled so many Druids, I'll find a Mage or a Paladin a lot more fun, and then I can use that to boost the Druid whilst making raw gold at the same time. Because when I get that Druid to sort of 45 and I'm going in strat and I'm getting, you know, a couple of 100 gold an hour just in raw materials and silver and gold and whatever, it's going to be beneficial. I'm going to be getting that gold to get my epic mount for the Druid, whilst also boosting the Druid to 70. That's why I'm sort of on the fence between Mage and Paladin. Paladin's going to be great for sort of strat and that, but then Mage is going to be better when we get to Outland to do slave pens and shallow labs and whatever else. So I'm still not 100% decided. I have a feeling I'm probably going to go Mage, because a Mage can do all the boosting anyway, all the way, just have to do it in a slightly different way. But either way, that's going to be my farmer. So the professions on that character, whether it's Mage or Paladin, is going to be just herb and mining. And then my Druid to begin with is actually going to be inscription and engineering. So I'm going inscription engineering obviously so I can farm on the second account on the Mage or the Paladin, and then obviously try and get my Dark Moon card greatness made on the Druid as soon as possible, because with a fresh reset there's not going to be that many scribes. There'll be people who go scribe because it's a great way of making gold early on, and that's something else that I want to talk about. Actually making gold on a fresh server is a lot of fun. You have to actually think a bit differently and do different things, and I do like that challenge. That's going to be fun, trying to get gold when there isn't any gold. You know, the only way to actually generate gold on the server itself is by just raw grinding. Now we know there's going to be bots doing it and everything like that, don't get me wrong, but it makes things like fishing really important, just, you know, by getting the fish, cooking the fish and then vendoring them, or skinning and just vendoring the leather because no one's got any gold to buy them from the auction house anyway. There's a lot of different ways, and obviously a very good way of making gold earlier on is tailoring. I'm going to do a bit of a video on the overall sort of how to make good gold on a fresh server, you know, what sort of strategies that I use and what I'm going to use. And tailoring obviously is a great one because everyone's going to want bags, so being able to just make bags and sell bags all day long, yeah, you're gonna be just taking people's gold as they earn it from quests. But that ain't this video, so I don't want to drag that on too much. But the fresh feel of any server is obviously just a lot of fun. That initial rush, everybody trying to get ahead, and when you do get ahead, you're then trying to keep ahead, getting your gear, being the first to clear the raids. Now we've started our own guild, so if you plan on playing fresh, then obviously absolutely get in touch with me on Discord. You can just join our Discord, and the link's in the description. And there's also another Discord linked in the description, which if you're specifically like NA, it might suit you better. If you're EU, you might want to come and join us. If you're NA, you'll find a fresh guild on this server, so it's a fresh Discord server. It's not made by me, it's made by a couple of guys we know, but you know, it's a growing community, so you might want to get on there to find yourself a guild. If you're EU, you'll probably want to go on there anyway, but what I'm saying is if you're NA, you probably wouldn't want to come and join us on an EU server, so this fresh Discord is the place to go. And overall, when it comes to leveling, what am I going to do? So as in on this fresh server, how am I going to level? Am I going to dungeon cleave? Am I going to, you know, solo grind, whatever? I'll be honest with you, I'm going to probably just follow the rested XP guide. You know that I plug it in the description of every video, so I'm sure you know what it is by now, but I'm just going to follow that. I know it's going to be quite busy and contested, and then in amongst that, with our massive community, being the guild, which it is a massive community, we're going to have hundreds of people in the guild, and obviously a very, very hardcore, focused raid team in that, along with social raids and alt raids and everything. But I'll just do dungeons on the way up with the guys. You know, anyone who's doing something, I'll just jump in and do it occasionally, hopefully get summoned, because I don't like running anywhere. But ultimately, just that fresh reset. That's what I've asked for. I asked for it in TBC and didn't get it, was a bit disappointed. Who knows, if we did get it, I might have still been playing TBC today. I doubt it. And when I say today, I have obviously been playing TBC, but just not a lot, not as much as I really wanted to. So I know RAF is going to be the place where I just live and breathe. It's going to be tough actually juggling YouTube and Wrath of the Lich King, because I'm going to be farming achievements, so you'll probably find that I'm streaming a lot more on YouTube rather than putting videos out every day, certainly for the first couple of months. I'll still try to put a couple out a week, but you know, the rest of the time I'll just be live. If any of you actually cared about my plans and what I'm going to do, hopefully that's answered some questions. We don't know if we're going to go PvE or PvP yet, but once we do know, we'll let you know. But join our Discord and you can keep up to date. If you are looking for a community, then obviously just DM me on Discord and I'll get you in the mix. As for the actual RAF portion of the leveling, I'm probably just going to carry on questing, I think. I've had to come indoors, just too noisy out there. But anyway, so that's the overall plans. Going fresh, not sure whether it's PvE or PvP yet. Why I'm going fresh, because I like that initial race, everyone, you know, rushing. And this whole like, oh, people all, you know, get that fear of missing out on, you know, the existing realms where everybody's like 2 expansions ahead. They're not. That's a load of rubbish. They're really no one is ahead. When RAF comes out, you know, even all of your Sunwell gear is going to be replaced at level 80, or can be replaced at level 80 from heroics and stuff like that. So you've got some advantages, don't get me wrong, but the main advantage is actually what we look at as a disadvantage, the ones who want to go fresh, which is the massive amounts of gold that are on the servers, you know, and people sat at gold caps who have been doing GDKPs every week and stuff like that, you know, where some of us who have taken breaks and that, don't get me wrong, you can go, well, that's your fault, you should have carried on playing. Yeah, it is, but it's also not my fault that I found it boring and didn't want to play, do you know what I mean? Whereas I've done RAF hundreds of times and know that, you know, it's gonna hold my attention. That's the best way of putting it. And the fact that it is just completely reset, you know, everything fresh again, is just gonna add to that. And I've seen people saying that they've already pre-done the insane title, or, you know, they've got gold caps, they've got characters full of materials and stuff like that, and even they're going fresh. I really have been thinking just to keep this sort of balanced, even though it's about me. This is a video about my plans, you know, so there's no facts as in like fresh is better, or, you know, carrying on with your existing characters better, because it's just how I feel, it's what I want to do. But I have been thinking about, well, what if I did stay on the existing realms? You know, what really would be the difference? And to be honest, there's not that much. The only thing that I'd be missing out on is that fun first month or so where there's just so much rush. You know, during the pre-patch on the existing realms is going to be a lot of fun. Like, I'm sort of a bit sad that I'm going to miss out on that, you know, going and doing Sunwell, BT and all of that with the level 80 talents and, yeah, just having fun. Whereas now the pre-patch for me and anybody who's going fresh is going to feel like work, because you've got to get to 70 and, yeah, it's not going to be as fun as the guys who are staying on the existing realm. So that for me is the biggest negative out of everything that I'm doing, because that pre-patch could only be here once. We might not see a Wrath of the Lich King pre-patch again ever. So it is a shame that a lot of that is going to be wasted on me leveling 2 characters. So I do see that as a massive downer, really. But at the same time, the leveling experience, whilst no one really likes leveling, doing the 1 to 70, it's still going to be pretty fun, because there's just going to be everyone everywhere. You're going to be able to find dungeon groups. You're going to be able to just find people to do group quests. That everyone is going to be doing the same thing, which is just going to make it a really fun experience. It'll be like when, you know, 2019 Classic launched, but this time going all the way up to Northrend, basically. So I'm mega excited about it. But they're my plans anyway. So I know this wasn't a normal sort of video that I'd put out, but I just wanted to let you know what I'm doing, really, and where I'm going to be playing and how you can come and play with us and all that jazz. So if you liked the video anyway, like it, subscribe to the channel and roll the outro.
There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes, everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name, and you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.